So it's a great honor to be here today at the World Obesity Day to discuss these topics with you. And if we are honest, I don't want to give a state of obesity address. I would like to give a state of action against obesity address because this is exactly what is needed in the moment. We are talking about the pathophysiology and underlying factors, social behavioral factor of obesity for decades. But what we have to do, we have to change this. We have to change the environment, the physiology, the access to medication, and the stigmatization of people living with obesity. So I actually would like to highlight 3 points. And one is, or actually 4 points. One is we talk about a twin pandemic if you talk about diabetes and obesity. If we ask how many people live with diabetes on Earth, yeah, IDF says 589, WHO says more than 830 million people living with diabetes. But this is it's a very short view because getting diabetes means you undergo a pathophysiology from the last 30, 40 years where obesity plays a very crucial role. But also obesity have different facets like visceral obesity, like liver fat, like subcutaneous fat. And understanding this twin pandemic is something what science has to deliver because this unreal the pathomechanisms to fight against obesity. And medication, all the good medications, the brilliant molecules which are developed in the moment, are a first step to a better treatment of obesity. But we should not forget the molecules existing today are not optimal because it always means a lifelong therapy for our patients. And we should be better than this in terms of medication. But what is, I would actually say, is more important is the health environment. Today, if you live where Amit is coming from, in India, in Chennai, in Mumbai, in Delhi, air pollution in conjunction with the increased risk of obesity, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes is an environmental factor we have to address. Access to food, eating a lot of fried carbs, fried at a temperature of above 130 degrees Celsius, is an underlying determinant for obesity. And I will not mention also the artificial sweetener who also change microbiome and contribute to the development of obesity. And these are 3 out of maybe 100 or even more factors. So creating a healthy environment, this is what is our responsibility. And we should not only talk about, we should start with this. And not only next week, we should start today in creating a healthy environment everywhere where we are, where we work, where we live, where we go on vacation. The second point I wanted to mention is stigmatization. And I think Barbara will talk about this. We have to stop stigmatization of people with obesity and with other chronic diseases because stigmatization is a break for change of lifestyle, is a big barrier to change your lifestyle to reduce obesity. And finally, what I think is a very unmet need in the moment is access to prevention and treatment for people everywhere living in the world. Of course, if you are in a certain environment, you have to have access to any kind of medication. I was in Kuwait a few days ago, and I learned that more than 90% of the people in Kuwait take the new GLP-1 drugs. Yeah? This is a very big burden. I don't want to go too deep into it because, of course, it fights against obesity, but people also losing muscle mass, and it's generating a pandemic of sarcopenia in an elderly population. So we as scientists have to be aware of this and bring better solution. But if you're on other very low or low income countries, access to medication is much, much weaker. Access to obesity prevention strategies is much, much weaker. And this is where all of us can do something. So I want to ask you, or I want to say I'm proud of being a president of an organization working together with many people in the field of obesity, many committed people in the field of obesity, and we have to facilitate this. So I would like to say thank you very much to you for your action, for your energy, for your passion in fighting against obesity, against diabetes, and against all other comorbidities. But I'm especially deeply grateful and thankful for all the actions which are coming out of this webinar. So thank you very much, Shukran, Dankeschön, and I don't want to repeat all other languages for your actions against obesity.